Hi there, this is Dr. Mort Orman, and we're continuing our series this week on some short videos about Stress Mastery, the board game, and we're doing some simulations so you get a chance to see how the game is played. Last time we looked at a couple questions from the emotions question deck. Today we're going to look at some of the questions from the career deck. We're still, both of us are, we left off from the last video. We're still on lap number 1. We would have declared in the beginning how many laps we were going to play. So again, just as a simulation, we'll assume we roll the dice and move, and you would move to this square here, and then I would roll and move. And then let's say you rolled again, and you passed the start, and you end it on a yellow triangle. Well, the first thing you would do is you would change your lap markers to show that you're on the second lap. Okay, I'm still on the first lap. And then you would, let's say this was the career triangle. Somebody from another player from the game would ask you a career question, and it would be your job to answer it. If you answered it correctly, you would get an extra turn. If you answered it incorrectly, you would lose a turn. So here's an example of the first question. This is a true-false question. The secret to being happy in your career is to constantly seek advancement and greater levels of responsibility until you reach the highest level possible. Would you say that's true for most people or false for most people? The answer printed on the card is false. To maximize your happiness, you should seek the level of responsibility that best suits your individual talents, skills, and interests. Again, the purpose of these questions is to stimulate discussion, to provoke new ways of thinking. There are many people that probably believe that this is a true statement, that what's important is to keep advancing, advancing, advancing. There are other people who realize that that's a sure recipe for stress, because you can sometimes be put in positions or promoted positions that you're not well suited for, and you were happier in what you were doing, or something, maybe doing something different along the same level that you were in. So it's not necessarily true that always advancing is going to make you happy. Sometimes it could end up making you unhappy, at least in my opinion and my experience. So that's an example of one of the career questions. And again, it's an example of a question that could be controversial, and that different people in the game could have different feelings or points of view about that might be worth discussing. So again, we would roll the dice, and I would move, and then you would move, and let's say you landed on another yellow triangle, and it was a career triangle. Here would be another question that you might get asked. Again, another true or false question. True or false? One major cause of unnecessary stress and illness in the workplace is that people tend to put so much emphasis on their job performance that they often neglect their health, neglect their body's need for sleep, eat poorly, and neglect their own needs as well as the needs of family and loved ones. Do you think that's a true statement? Do you think that's a false statement? You would have an opportunity to give your point of view. The answer on the card, however, is true, that this is a common problem, that people do tend to neglect their own health and well-being because they're so concerned about their job performance and keeping their job or advancing in their job. So this can be a cause. This can be a cause of stress if you're not sleeping well, if you're not eating well, if you're not attending to the needs of your loved ones. This can all backfire on you in a big way. Unfortunately, it's a very common problem today. But again, that's the kind of thing where you can discuss with the people playing the game, either during the game or afterwards. And again, we will do one more. So again, roll the dice again. Let's assume that I move. You roll the dice again. 2 spaces, you land on another triangle. Let's say it's a career triangle, which it probably wouldn't be, but just for the simulation purposes. This question is, which of the following statements, and there are 3 statements here, which of the following statements are true about the amount of time you have each day to do things you either want to do or have to do? So this is a time management question. And as you hear each of these answers, decide for yourself whether they're true or not. So A, if you are more efficient at doing things, you could get more done in the 24 hours you have. Is that true or false? B, if you are more creative, you could easily find ways to convert non-productive time into productive time. Do you think that's true or false? And C, if you travel or commute as part of your daily routine, you could easily find ways to safely be more productive during those times. Do you think that's true? So you would indicate whether you thought A, B, and C are all true, or any combination are true. And then you would give your answer. The answer on the card is that all three of those are true, and could be ways to get more done or do more of the things that you want to do in the same 24 hours that